Welcome to Podcast Answers, the show where I help you start and grow your podcast, all while answering any questions along the way. That's right. Today, I am going to be answering lots of questions along the way, hopefully helping you improve your podcast, improve the flow of the way that you do things, because that's what we're all about, right? Is getting better in the way that we do things. And for me, I think this one is a big deal. So today what we're doing is we're talking about imposter syndrome and just keeping imposter syndrome away and things like that. But first, guys, if you want to, you can join our live. You can call the live studio today, 574-501-4945, 574-501-4945. That'll get you live into our studio. And if you happen to be not watching us live, you can also call that number later and leave a voicemail. We would love to have you chat with us. We would love to have you talk with us. I love answering questions. So please, 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 please call 574-501-4947 either right now and talk to me live in studio, or call it afterwards, leave a voice message. I would love to hear what you think about this. Do you have imposter syndrome? Do you know what it is? And let's talk a little bit about how to get rid of imposter syndrome. So before we get into that, though, I want to talk a little bit about a little bit of the change that I'm going to make to this show. So in previous, ever since this show has been around, and we are several seasons in, I strived to release my episodes on Thursday at about 1 a.m. So that way, when you woke up, no matter where you were at, you would have an episode in your podcatcher, ready to go, in your software, ready to go, ready to listen. I'm making a change, though, and I'm going to say by 4 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays, I'm going to be producing this episode. And the reason that I'm making this change is several reasons, because it allows me to have a little bit more time to get it going. The way that my schedule works is I record these on Tuesdays or Thursdays at my lunchtime. And so what that will do is allow me to be able to record on Thursday and not really feel like I'm late. Because right now, again, this is just a self-imposed thing, but it makes me feel like I'm late when my goal was to have an episode out to you by the beginning of the day, and I couldn't get it out because I was recording at lunch on Thursdays. And so for me, this change allows me to be able to say, okay, Thursdays, by the end of the workday, Eastern time, you will have an episode for your drive home. Now, again, you probably don't care. You probably didn't even know that I release these things on Thursdays at 1 a.m. because it was just there when it showed up. But because of kind of some inconsistencies in the way that I was a little bit inconsistent over the last several years, I want to try to be better for you. I want to try to become more consistent for you. I've been telling everybody, be consistent, be consistent, be consistent, but yet I'm not consistent. And so what I've done is I'm making this change so that I can be a little bit more consistent and have the episode out at 4 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. Now, when I record it, it's going to be different. When you see me go live, it's going to be different. That may be either Tuesday or Thursday. I don't have a specific time that I record at because it just kind of depends on what's going on in my day. All right, let's talk about imposter syndrome and what that means for you. So, imposter syndrome is essentially that. You just feel like you're an imposter. You feel like you should not be the one doing this podcast. You should not be the one telling the people that what you're doing, because you're not qualified. You're not ready for this. You're not able to. You're not professional enough. And that is simply not true. You are professional. You can do it. So here's some ways to get over imposter syndrome and to deal with it and make your podcast even better. The first thing is, remember that everyone starts as a beginner. Even successful podcasters had episode number 1. And that means that you are a beginner just like they are or have been. They started the same way that you are. They are not any different than you. Another thing to remember to help reframe your perspective is your unique perspective and experiences have value, even if you're not a quote unquote expert at things. You have value. Your voice matters. What you say matters. And so you may not be an quote unquote expert, but your thoughts and your experiences and your perspective has value. Next, let's focus on serving your audience rather than proving your worth. It is not about your podcast is not about whether or you are worthy enough. It does not matter. It does not mean it does not prove that you're worthy. It doesn't prove that you're famous. It's not about that. It's about serving your audience. You have a unique perspective that your audience wants to hear. You have experienced it, like I talked about in the last point. Your unique perspective has value, and your audience wants to hear that value. Now, another thing to remember about imposter syndrome, and this happens a lot of times at the very beginning when you're starting to plan your show, when you're starting to get it out there, when you're getting the idea ready, when you're getting your equipment ready, when you're getting the experience ready, is start before you're ready. Waiting to feel qualified enough, you're never going to start. If you wait until you have all of the equipment, if you have it, wait till you have all of the experience, when you have all of the whatever, you're never going to start. And let me tell you this from firsthand experience. I've been podcasting since 2007. That's right. I've been podcasting since 2007. And guess what? I still make mistakes. In fact, I was just recording an episode of my other podcast, Dudes and Dads podcast, this last Sunday. And I pushed the record button and I started the music before the cold open. And I wanted to do a cold open. And I forgot about that right away. And I stopped the music and we did a cold open and then we played it again. And guess what? That's okay. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to get it right every single time. Your episodes are not going to be perfect, especially your first several. They're learning experiences. You've never done this before. You've probably never podcasted before. So your first episodes are not going to be perfect. Many successful podcasters, including myself, cringe at my early work. That's normal. My very first podcast was awful. And I think I've told you this before on this show, but it was awful. I went back and listened to it later and I was like, oh, like the sound was bad. My intonation was bad. Everything about the episodes were bad. It wasn't until I had lots of experience under my belt that I was like, that doesn't sound terrible. So what's this mean for you? This means that just do it. Your work is going to get better. And even I look back at this particular podcast. I've been doing this for 3 years now. And even this podcast, the very first couple episodes were not all that great. The quality was okay because I was used to doing it. But it took me a while because in all of my other podcasts, except for that very first podcast, I had a co-host. I had someone to lean on. But you know what? This podcast, I don't have someone to lean on. Most of the time I'm doing this as a solo show, a solo episode. I don't have anyone to lean on. And so again, it takes some time. It takes some effort to get into that and to get used to your groove of things. And that's normal. Also, embrace the learning process. Document your journey rather than trying to present yourself as an expert. Document it. Say, hey, I don't know everything about this topic that I'm talking about, but I have a passion about it. I have a passion about becoming a basket weaver, and so I'm starting this podcast. I don't know everything. Let your people know. Be transparent about that. Be transparent about what you're learning along the way. Let them know that you're learning this stuff as you're talking to them, because you don't have to be an expert. Authenticity resonates more than perfection. Let me say that again. Authenticity resonates more than perfection. When you are authentic with people, they're going to understand that you're human too, that you're not a robot. And it's going to resonate with them more than if you were perfect. So let's focus on the progress, not perfection. Compare your current episode to your last one, not to established podcasters, not to Joe Rogan, not to me, not to people who have been doing this for years and years and years. Compare your current episode to your last one. Did you get better? Did you get better? Don't compare it to my episodes. I've been doing this for a while. Compare it to yours. Also, celebrate the small wins and improvements. If your sound is better this next show than it was the last episode, that's a win for you. Keep a journal. Keep a winning journal to keep track of your positive feedback and milestones. You've made it. You've made it 10 episodes in. Celebrate that. Celebrate your wins. You are unique and your voice is needed, and you will get better with every episode that you do. So celebrate the small wins. The other thing that can help too, kind of get over this imposter syndrome, is building a support group, a support system. Connect with other new podcasters who understand the struggle that you're having to just get an episode out, to talk on camera without stuttering, to slow down. Connect with other podcasters that are new. They understand you and they can support you. Join podcasting communities and forums. I'm part of several of those on Facebook, and they range from people being very new to people who have been doing it forever, and everyone's helping each other. Everyone is helping each other. They're in there. They're trying to help you learn, and for the most part, those groups are not going to tell you your question is stupid. If you're part of a group that tells you your question is stupid, leave that group right now, anyways. But join a podcasting community. Share your fears with trusted friends and mentors, or I do coach other people on how to podcast, and I talk with people about when they're struggling with, I only have so many episodes downloaded per episode. I only have this many people listening. I'm not getting the reach that I want. I talk people through that. I try to help people realize that they're beginning. They're just starting. They have 6 more people than they did when they began. Also, redefine success. What does success mean to you? I mean, you need to set realistic goals. Goals like, let's get 7 episodes published rather than 70,000 or 700,000 downloads. Just worry about being consistent, being there, publishing your first 10 episodes. It's not realistic to think that you're going to get 10,000 downloads in the first month. Unless you're somebody who's famous and has a bunch of people that you're willing to listen to your show because they know you. People don't know you. You need to get out there and get your word out there and help them learn about your show. So be realistic about that, about your goals. Don't just say, I'm going to get 10,000 downloads in the first month, because it's not going to happen. Don't have your goal be to make money, because it's not going to happen for a while. It just isn't. You need to establish your show and get your word out there and set smaller goals that you can accomplish and be documented in your winning journal, that you can look back and say, hey, on January 1st of 2025, this is my goal, to have 10 episodes published by February 1st. And I'll look at February 1st as come around. It's February 3rd as I'm recording this, and I've got 10 episodes published. That's a win. And remember that helping even one person makes your podcast worthwhile. Let me say that again. Helping even one person makes your podcast worthwhile. If you think about it, and let's say, just pretend you're getting only, I'm saying this in quotes, only 10 downloads. Do you know that's 10 downloads? Those are 10 people that you're helping. That's 10 people that want to come back to the content that you're delivering, that want to come back for what you have to say, that want to listen to you, that you're impacting that one person, that 10 people, whatever the number may be. Quality of impact matters more than the quantity of listeners, because you're impacting, even if it's just one person, you are making a difference in that one person's life. Quality of impact matters more than the quantity of listeners. Take some actions also to despair fear. Imposter syndrome doesn't go away. You just get better at working through it. Even now, I've been doing this since 2007. I've got thousands of episodes under my belt. And I look at people and I go, man, like, who am I to tell people how to podcast? Who am I to tell people how to be a better dad? Who am I? It doesn't go away. We just get better at working through it and thinking and reframing our expectations and redefining what success is. Remember to hit publish even though you feel nervous. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. And that's one of the reasons that I do a live show. I do a live recording because I know it's not going to be perfect. And I don't want to go back and I don't want to record. So hit publish even if you feel nervous. People need to hear what you have to say. Also, momentum builds confidence more than preparation does. You can prepare and you can prepare and you can prepare and you can go over your notes. You can go over your notes. You can talk. You can talk to the wall. But momentum builds confidence. Looking back and seeing that you have those 10 episodes under your belt, those 20 episodes under your belt, those 200 episodes under your belt. Once you get rolling, the ball is hard to stop and it builds confidence and you get better and better and better at what you do. And less of that feeling of, who am I to bring this message to the world? Who am I? Who am I? Your voice and your story matters. And that's what I love about podcasting, guys. That's why I started podcasting. Because my voice, my story, my perspective matters. The world needs more diverse perspectives, not people staying silent due to self-doubt. Your story, your voice matters. Get out there and do your podcast. Guys, I encourage you to get out there today. If you need help starting your show, I would love to help you. Contact me at podcastanswers.com/contact. Let's get your podcast started today. And if you have comments or questions or anything, leave us a voicemail, 574-501-4945. I would love to help you get started. What questions do you have? 574-501-4945. Leave me a voice message. Let's answer your question. Have a great week and keep podcasting.